Warning. The following may contain concepts, ideas, and/or reflections unique in nature and not yet approved by government and/or corporate entities. This content is for entertainment purposes only and is not intended to stimulate further reflection or to perpetuate additional discourse beyond the scope already outlined by institutional curriculum.
Okay.
Now you can talk and see.
Yeah.
Yeah,
sure.
yeah.
You got to do the talking now. Come on, let's
Let's go.
You got to look into the comments, say what you're gonna say.
I'm not gonna say anything, man.
Okay. You know, sometimes Monday can get people down, and I think it's gotten us down. We're feeling the weight.
Oh man, it's a Monday.
All right.
I'm feeling down, man. What are we gonna do?
Well, we gotta get serious. That's what we gotta do, and so we will. And in this video, we're going to discuss about how success can alter our perception on what people have to say and just how we generally perceive them in the grand scheme of things.
Okay.
Let's cue that intro, and then we will begin. Well, here
we are. Another week, another day, another episode. Hey.
Another unremittent amount of success just piling on to that mountain that we've accrued. Sort of like a mystical prehistoric dragon
A misty
who has
mountain hop.
has a hoard of gold that he's sitting upon, just enjoying it.
Yeah, man.
So,
Bring it on. Bring that gold.
So, what do we talk about when we're talking about perception of people and how it can be altered with success? It comes from, I think, a reasonable sort of assessment. And in a time of where life was a little bit more basic, a little bit more down to earth, and there was a lot less mechanisms in it. When someone was successful, they were successful because they had shown themselves, they had proven themselves to be either the best leader, the best warrior, the most competent, whatever it was. Money wasn't really the thing that was attributed to them as much as it was just who they were. That's where we get the last name from.
Who?
Ironically enough, you know. Well, not ironically, but interestingly enough.
Like John Smith, he was a good blacksmith.
Yeah, his dad was a good blacksmith. That's his son, right? And Sexsmith, we don't know. We don't we don't know how he got that name, but we could speculate. But yeah, so all of these things were coming from this prehistoric era of a meritocracy. I do believe that in the Dark Ages or before, even up into the Middle Ages, there was a lot more of a meritocracy that we were operating under.
Well, you'd like to think so anyways.
Yes, and that's why I said it. Anyways, so in that time period, so we've got this like natural inclination now to take someone that is in the upper echelons of our society and place extra importance upon their words, assuming that when the king is speaking, he's not a complete and utter fucking retard. Assuming that when a general speaks, that he is not someone that is inbred and has two brain cells that he's trying to rub together. So this comes from like some passed down generational idea, but how it's manifesting today now is really completely associated with, and I don't even know if I could really call it entirely based upon money or not, because even to a certain extent, like in the current modern generation, even just how many views you have on like YouTube or Instagram or TikTok could influence how much people listen to what you're saying and how much credit they're giving what you're saying. I think that this is a interesting dynamic that has kind of been like born out of the 20th century, but really like reaching its apex now. You have anything to add to that, or should I continue?
No, I'm feeling a bit like a dummy right now, but
Okay, well,
without somebody's arm up my ass.
but if you here, let me help you. But if you were looking at individuals and you're judging them off of their success, once a system becomes sort of corrupted or losing its way as far as defining what matters in life, what is important, what are important characteristics, then you start to have this like, if you have money, I'm going to listen to you because your success defines your value as, you know, a speaker.
It's your credentials.
And this is really a difficult thing for people to pull away from and to go, just because a guy's a billionaire, I'm going to still just judge him completely arbitrarily off of what he's saying, not off of any of his backstory, not thinking about this multi-billion-dollar company behind him, not thinking of his bank account and how engorged it is, but just off of the merit of what he's saying. And I'm going to do the same, and I'm going to offer the same olive branch to someone who is homeless, living in a cardboard box, who is speaking his mind on a subject of the same ilk. And I'm going to judge these people merit-based off of their words, off of how lucid their thoughts are. Well, I think it's pretty clear that we have lost that ability completely.
Yeah, and I would say too that if a person has wealth and then loses it, I think it's going to be pretty hard to keep an audience listening to his, hanging on his every word.
Well, yeah, it's
so
it's kind of like they had
those kind of fleeting.
They kind of had those old, old stories, old, old sagas where some king, jarl, lord. Sometimes they would have lost everything, or sometimes it was just that they were in disguise because people were hunting for them. And this had actually historically it had happened, right, where sometimes you had two kings that were basically in line for the throne of England, and one of them ends up going incognito, dressing as a peasant, and maybe encountering people, being treated like utter shit, even though he's actually going to take the throne eventually. Right. He's going to come back from Brittany and he's going to assume the throne. And it is a weird dynamic of how people could look at someone dressed in rags and completely discount them entirely.
Yeah, not basically perceive that they're looking at royalty.
Yeah, and I think in the old stories, they like to bring this to the forefront to inform people just how much the robes, the crown, the prestige, all the accoutrement around someone can influence what you think about what they're saying. And instead of just listening to it as objectively as possible and going, whoa, okay, this makes sense, this is logical. You don't have a big giant Lamborghini that you're leaning on when you're saying this, but you know what? You could fucking rent one. And then where are you? Well, that's where we are today, where people could just present themselves as being something that they're not, adding legitimacy to words that basically are nonsensical or barely even coherent, but people are drawn into this idea that they have fucking success because of some fucking background, right?
You know what kind of reminds me of? This is going to seem really off topic, but I remember when the Grand Prix came to Montreal and they shut off a whole bunch of streets. They had a whole bunch of these attractive chicks, kind of like
Quebecois, as we would say.
Quebecois. Yeah, I don't know the female version of Quebecois, but anyways, it really seemed to add legitimacy to this great big event that was going on.
Oh,
because
yeah,
he had
yeah,
the
yeah.
capacity to shut off the streets and have what they call, like a big festivity going on there in la grande ville. And, well, it gets your attention, though.
Yeah,
It's
well,
kinda
no,
like
I mean, this is
the crowd
if you
moves
think about
in a certain way, and you kind of
Right.
like
So if
go,
you think
wow,
of-
okay,
no, but if
so
you think about-
something must be going on here.
if you think about marketing firms, right? What is a marketing firm doing, right? But they're like presenting as though you have something. Everybody is like doing this posturing thing of like nobody wants to seem like they have less than they actually have, or even they have what they have and it's not that much. But it's because the wealth of something, I mean, it's kind of like, I think with the chicks, the idea is that if you can afford to attract them to the event, it shows a level of success in and of itself.
Well,
So
you're
there's
also,
like
you're also paying them to, prance around and
they're
be
prancing
there.
around these very fancy, expensive
And
vehicles
you've got
too.
you got lots of vehicles that are on display, and you've got a PA system. So,
Well,
it's
that's a fucking accomplishment.
yeah, but no, it's well organized though. You
Yeah.
see, it's not hard to give the trappings of something that's well organized.
But
Because it
here's
doesn't really take that much,
I-
really.
yeah.
Not
But
as much
here's
as people think. It's like a carnival can get set up in a town.
Yeah.
All of a sudden, boy, everybody's like entranced in this carnival, which is a
Yeah.
2-bit carnival. But they throw it up real quick. They got all their hucksters out there ready to prey upon the sheep or the victims.
Well, no,
or whatever.
and this is kind of there's a difference between not everything is not all success is equally bestowed upon the earner of that success. And there are some times where people gain success because of merit and because of quality of mind and production. And there's other times that people gain success because of being a liar,
And sometimes
being a
you need
convincing a charlatan. And
or you need a good poster child. Like Steve Jobs needed to be a good poster child for the iPhone.
well, let's just say that even with Steve Jobs, because I don't know if he was a poster child as much as he was just basically, I mean,
Well,
a lot
if
of
he wasn't
actually,
a poster
no,
child, he sure as shit filled in pretty good for one.
Okay, well, whatever. But I think that in his case, in Elon Musk, like it's like, do you think Elon Musk is a poster child as well?
Well, he's definitely a
Or-
poster child for the businesses that he's representing.
Yeah,
Is
but-
he really the one that is really behind SpaceX and everything?
Well, yeah,
I would imagine
he is.
that-
But the thing is that like, yeah,
Because we talked about this before, that the format of a lot of these corporations, including Zuckerberg, is he only owns 5%, 10% of Facebook, but they have them co-investing in maybe 100, maybe 1,000 other businesses, so they're all interconnected. But
yeah, it's
but
true.
he's
But
the poster
I mean,
child
poster child, I don't know, because basically, to me, these people they're the media spivs. So it's kind of like, but at the same time, they've also wormed themselves into that position themselves. Their own impetus has driven them to take the limelight and go collecting financing. So
well, that
being
that
a
would be
poster child
because,
is someone that you select to do a position. But like,
but
in
they
the
have
case,
to have the certain skill sets to do that.
Yeah, I'm not talking about their skill sets. I'm talking about the impetus that drives them forward. I'm talking about the fact that it's different when someone's like, I'm a confidence man. I'm going to enter into this scenario and I'm going to worm what I can out of this situation with the truly powerful people. And then the other thing is a poster child who powerful people just go out and seek and find. Right?
Okay.
I don't think that Elon Musk and Jobs and Mark Zuckerberg, that these people were selected because they're fucking so charming. Like, no, they were just these overly ambitious little fucking nerds that had their like atomic wedgie shoved up like their ass crack and over top their forehead, and got so much impetus to be something in society that they were willing to lie and connive and business their way through anything and negotiation. In the case of Elon Musk, he was able to sell the algorithm of PayPal to eBay. That was a brokering a deal between individuals, right? And in the same case with Steve Jobs, he was able to negotiate his way into a position where he could get the engineers and attract the talent to be able to, put forth the
you
Macintosh.
can also say weasel their way, but
sure, but
so
that's not a poster child though, because a poster child is just like is just someone that's put up there. They're not like that well compensated. So that's why I kind of push back against calling them poster childs.
Okay,
because actors are kind of like poster childs in a sense. You write them a script and you put them in front of a camera and you get them to say whatever sort of propaganda you want. You could do like a military movie and just, The Dirty Dozen or something, and just pop these guys in front. They're going to, like marionettes. Those to me seem like more what I would call a poster child to sell the public on an idea, but not an overly ambitious person who is lying and deceiving in their own sort of mechanisms for aggrandizement. Anyways, I digress, but
well, I do as well.
Okay. But the point that is that the core of it, rather than concentrate on any one individual, is just how influential for our psychology the viewing of someone that has quote unquote success in society. Forget about like the actual dollar value or whatever, but like you could even take someone and accredit them in that vein. Remember I told you like about promoting the book, right?
Right.
And how like Amazon has this I hope they don't have any assassins on their pay, but I'm going to break a little potential secret about Amazon and how they operate is when you get a book and you want to publish it, you have an option for advertising your book, and one of the advertisement troughs is to pay
$1,000.
Well, I think it was $5. I don't know if it was $5,000 or $5,500 or somewhere in that in that range. No, but you get onto the bestsellers list, which is not exactly how traditionally a bestsellers list would work, because the bestseller is
you
supposed
shouldn't really
to be
be able to just buy your way into being a bestseller.
So yeah, I mean, because
that would be almost like tantamount to just giving $1,000 to different people that could say, "Hey, I read the guy's book and I really liked it. I enjoyed it quite a bit."
And the reason why I noticed this is because one of the books on the bestsellers list, when I was like looking at Amazon, I was like, there's this book. I don't know. I think it was like some obviously trans book or homosexual book. I don't know exactly what it was called. I can't remember exactly the name, but it was clear that it was kind of like in that vein. And it said bestsellers list, and I looked and I saw one review like 1 star.
Awe-inspiring.
And it was like on the
riveting.
but on the bestsellers list, and
I
I'm
didn't
like,
leave my home for days until I finished it.
but dude, I mean, so that then it clicked with me. I was like, okay, so if you have one review, keep in mind, like Game of Thrones, you never watched it, but like the
No,
author
I did
that,
watch some of it, but
the author that did Game of Thrones, like the first book, I think it had
that wasn't
on Amazon.
Bernard Cornwell,
Dude,
was it?
No,
Okay.
George R.R. Martin.
Okay.
But it's your name. But anyways, it had, as I recall, it was like 599,000 reviews or something, right? That was how many reviews, not just like copies were sold. I'm saying like in the review section. That was not
on the bestsellers
on
list.
Amazon's bestsellers list. It's this obscure.
So it's over
weird-
500,000 reviews, but it didn't make Amazon's bestseller. But if you buy your way into it,
Now,
you
what-
can have one guy reading the book and maybe skim through it.
But whether that, so the question is, does that work or not? Well,
Doesn't
it
sound like
obviously does work to a certain extent, though, right? It
To what
obviously.
extent? To the extent that Amazon makes money off of you trying to sell,
It
promote
works.
your own book.
It works because if that book had more than one review, it would have worked. But I
don't know.
I think
2
most
reviews?
No, I mean significantly more, but like at least 100 or so reviews. But like obviously the problem with that one was it was too obvious that it was like, well, this can't be a
Okay,
bestseller
but I'm
book,
sure
right?
there's other examples, but you don't need to get into all the other examples.
No, but what I'm saying is that like, okay, like another example would be if you got onto like a New York Times bestsellers list, right?
Can't you buy your way into that?
Well, you might be able to. See, the thing is a lot of that with the New York Times bestsellers, they deal with the publishers, like the big publishers, right? Like
Macmillan.
Penguin, all those, like the
Oh
big
my
players, right?
God.
No, but here's the thing. We don't know what's happening behind the scenes. We don't know if there's like an inside deal where it's like, yeah, okay, we give you like 30 grand and you're going to put this book as highly reviewed, riveting, exhilarating,
Captivating.
blew my mind, and then put it all back together again. You know, it's like, so, but these things are hugely effective if done right. If you can successfully convince people, I guess this would be maybe a time. I know gaslighting is thrown around a lot, but this would be kind of gaslighting, leading people down this path of like, this is successful, this is good, you're gonna like this, why don't you check this out, everybody's talking
That
about it,
sounds like
they
abstract
love it.
art. How they probably
Well, yeah, like once a piece of art is like taken up by some rich prick, it's like suddenly now it's the greatest thing since sliced bread.
right.
Even
Was this
though,
done by a 5-year-old or some avant-garde artist?
well, man, I was watching that one Dutch lady again. All she does is like these things where her style is typically like very minimalistic in a sense of like she'll have like flowers, animals on a dinner table. It's a very kind of classic style because there was a time in the classic era where they did a lot of like these big feasts and because there's a lot of different textures of like getting cheese right, especially when you're doing like hyper realistic. But the way she's using colors and light is so amazing. Like, I'm not huge into art, but I love the way that she utilizes these colors.
And you said she's
gets the-
self-taught, if I remember correctly.
not going through an institute or anything like that. And if you look at it, like, I'm like, I don't give a shit how much she's selling or how famous she is. To me, I would put her on a very high pedestal of a like elite level artist, right? And then you've got guys like Banksy. Have you heard about Banksy?
No.
Right, like, so he does like these
Isn't
stencils.
that curly-haired guy with the beard?
No.
The landscape artist.
No.
Okay.
It's in the UK. There's like a guy who does like these stencil like spray paints. Whatever reason. No, I'm not saying that like this to say that he is shit. Like that guy is shit. But whatever reason there was a desire to put what he's doing on a pedestal, he's transcended way higher than his art ability is. And like I'm saying, no offense to the guy who's doing it, because he's kind of like,
but what kind of spray cans does he use? Maybe there's like a General Paint, or there's some kind of company that
is sponsoring it. No, but this is where rich people love to like gravitate to things that aren't that good, because it's a way that they can just take someone and go, look we could destroy you,
or we could elevate you up.
We could destroy you
levels.
If we wanted to pop this balloon, we could pop it at any moment. And other people that are like have a true like high caliber talent base, they don't seem to really gravitate towards those people, because once you elevate them, anybody can see their skill, and then you can't really contain them anymore.
No, I think
because
it is.
They want,
dude,
the way that high art goes too. The artist tends to get paid the worst, and it's this feeding frenzy trading that rich people do.
Have you ever noticed how utterly ugly a lot of these women are, like whether they're music divas or they're actresses without their fucking makeup? I think what it is like they offer these ugly bitches.
Yeah. No,
the potential of this a plateau that she doesn't deserve to be on.
But and this is the thing is, and then when you get this like this constant, this is like the formula is telling people what is of quality, what is good, and using the success of something to sell that thing. Using the success, not the content, not the quality. So it's not the quality of the novel, it's not the quality of the painting, it's not the quality of the music, it's not the quality of the artistry in carpentry or anything else. It is
the quality
the success
of the cosmetic company.
But it's the
what
success.
What kind of cosmetic company does she use?
But why would the success be so important? Well, because when you live in a monopolized society where corporations hold all the avenues towards promotion and propping something up,
yeah, they love to see themselves as God.
They can
influence.
They can influence the taste of people based around like. So engineering into the psyche of people that it's like, if a person has money, they're intelligent. If a person has money, their art is good. If a person has money, their music is good. By initiating that and trying to divorce actual critical thinking about like criticizing the actual product, that's where they get the most control, because the artists themselves are like, they're nothing. They're a dime a dozen. There's thousands of Lady Gagas out there. There's people going to go,
not ones that actually know how to play piano like Gaga does.
But you know what? There's a lot of women out there that have really good singing voices. They are trained in, like, look at Russia. Remember us saying about that other Russian chick that was at the same time as Gazmazda, right?
Yeah.
And like, if you want to, you can just like pump out, because there's all these like talented young women coming out of these art institutes.
Pianists who could put like any modern pop song and do their own sort of rendition.
And so like Russia is showing just like, if you want to churn out like a attractive woman playing guitar machine, you can, or piano or a cello or violin. You could just churn this thing on full blast, and you get like blasted with just an incredible amount of attractive, talented women, right? And so then you start kind of thinking like, okay, but that doesn't really work with the whole like diva thing, right? It doesn't work with the monopolized American standard, because the American standard is you don't want to flood the market with attractive bitches that are incredibly talented.
No, because then it would drop the price of attendance at the concert. So what you got to do is
it would drop their control too.
Right.
They would lack a
definitely.
monopoly on it because you've got people that are like, well, in a niche market, I like this and I like this and I like this. But if you stifle it and you go, it's a barren landscape, but we got one chick that's got mascara on and can hold a note. You go, whoa, holy shit.
I hope she's got false eyelashes on too, because I don't want to be sorely disappointed. I want her to look a little bit like a camel.
So it's like, hey, and it's no offense to
Camels.
but it's it's no offense to the people that are selected to be propped up because, hey, they want success, and it's not unnatural to want that and all that. So
They're like Madonna. They're willing to do anything to get.
Hey, don't get me started on Madonna.
No.
But the thing is that it's also when you juxtapose that those idols that you have to like the average person of a high caliber, and you go, whoa. Why am I worshiping that, which is like, mid-tier at best as far as skill, talent, attractiveness, every metric you can fathom to come up with, it's like a mid-tier. And then you've got someone that is exquisite in every aspect of talent, creativity, production, and they're stifled and they're at a low level. And it shows that the average person lacks an ability to witness and view objectively quality.
Right.
And so what our only form of viewing through the lens of what is good or what isn't is success. Now, the problem with that is gangsters have money. Liars have money. Con artists, deceivers, assassins. The list goes on of degenerate pieces of shit that have money. So if your only metric for judging the quality of someone's character or the quality of what they have to say is how much money they have, well, I got some bad news for you. It's not that simple. You cannot just use this person has money. Wow, I'm going to buy their book and listen to what they have to say about the economy.
Yeah, I'm even thinking about a creep that owns a strip joint, and what you're seeing is the chicks that he has picked. This creep that owns his strip joint.
Yeah.
That's not the full gambit of women out there that can dance and dance provocatively. Not that I meant the strip joints at all. I don't like it, but no, it was just an example of.
But I'm just extremely knowledgeable. I'm knowledgeable about everything about strip joints.
Hey, no, when I get an idea about something, it pops in my head, and I have to explain it. And that just happened to pop in my head that you've got these so-called gatekeeper pricks, these fucking assholes that got no taste or tastes up their fucking ass.
Yeah.
All they're interested in peddling their fucking. Exploiting people first and foremost.
Yeah.
Right?
And you're basing everything upon their warped sense of the world.
Right.
And the thing is that eventually, if we want to move away from this, we're going to have to start using our own taste, our own opinions. And this is why we are such like we are entrenched in the idea of individualism.
Right.
Because if you're individualistic,
we should call this the pioneering of individual show or something like that, because I think this is what it really comes down to. This is
we're big time. We're big time individualists.
I support unions, but I don't really like it. I just know that they're necessary because the people that they're having to go up against. It's a necessary.
Even in that sense, it's amazing how corrupted it could be, and the power of a collective of individuals is incomparable. Because if you have 100,000 people that all have their own opinions, the type of product thinking and achievement that those people can reach to is mind blowing, because it's something that you're not just like all the first thing out of someone's head or mouth, connected to the head, but the first thing out of someone's
Pretty
mouth
close anyway.
is just automatically accepted. Like, what a weird, bizarre world to live in, where someone could just be like, I think this is good. And everybody just goes, yeah.
I like cotton candy.
Yeah.
It tastes good.
Yeah. And
colorful too.
Nobody goes, maybe I'm going to reserve my judgment until I actually taste the stuff, or I actually witness it for myself. I'm not going to just follow the herd. And this, oh man, see, my words are bringing profundity.
How can you have thunder when you got blue sky?
I don't know.
Maybe there's dark clouds on the other side.
Maybe.
Hey, maybe it's
But
God saying, hey, it's time to cut this short.
Yeah,
If you want to keep your...
Even God's getting bored. He's like, okay, wrap it up. So, I think this is our take on the perception of success,
Right.
and how it can warp and distort. I think there's two
how
sides
wrong
of
it
it.
is to judge a person based upon how financially successful they are.
Yeah, we can build people up based around a perception of success, and then we can also discount people on a perception that they don't have success. And I think as a mental exercise, we got some homework for our one viewer.
Really?
Well, I don't know if we have one viewer yet, but we might.
That viewer needs to come out and expose him or herself.
But here's the homework.
Not with pictures or anything.
Here's the homework for tonight is, when you're looking at something, forget about what the backing of it is, and see if you can just ignore all of that and rate it on your own preference of what you consider to be quality, what you consider to be of merit, and try to utilize that more and more just in general application day to day. Because some people that are not success driven might have a lot more wisdom than other people that are just out there hustling nonstop. And so it's a little food for thought.
Hey,
maybe
you're thinking you could also get a loaf of Wonder Bread and go down to a quality bakery and get some Bavarian rye, sit there, put some butter on each one, and chew on both of them for a while, and try to extrapolate which one really is of quality.
All right, so I guess we'll leave it on your example.
That is food for thought.
Yeah, okay. Well, I didn't mean for you to take it literally, but if that's how you want to leave it, we'll leave it at that. All right, so until tomorrow, we'll catch you guys later.
Catch you on the flip side.